Welcome back, everybody. On today's episode, we're doing something near and dear to my heart. We are lore hunting. If you are just finding Fallout, like a lot of people are right now, or if you're a seasoned vet, like a lot of us are, there might be something in here for you. So, we're gonna do some lore hunting with the vaults. There are quite a few vaults in Vault 76, and we're gonna go into each of them, figure out what looks so great on paper turned out to go so horribly wrong. So buckle in, we're getting weird. We're gonna figure out what happened to each of these locations and really dive deep, which I love doing. So let's gather around the campfire and let's tell some spooky stories from long ago. Like always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like or subscribe button, and let's get this thing rolling. Well, we cannot start this video without talking about Vault 76. Now, this was the most successful vault out of all of them, so we will give it that. But I do think there was some underlying things going on that did make it successful, whether it be shady or not. So let's talk about the history. So Vault 76 was successfully sealed on October 23rd, 2077. The occupants were a diverse group selected from every walk of life, and apart from the vault staff, all were highly accomplished before the war and possessed competitive personalities. As such, Vault Tech expected the vault dwellers to present unique challenges in maintaining order. So here comes the shady part. The Overseer was given the ability to lock down each person and imprison them for any duration deemed appropriate, with note to account for the fact that enforced solitary confinement can lead to psychological issues. And furthermore, the security team was provided with less than lethal devices to ensure compliance. Firearms and other mutations were stowed away after the amended entry period. For the next 25 years, Vault 76 continued to operate as planned. The Overseer found order easy to maintain, though the impressive pedigree of those the vault sheltered and their competence led to unique challenges, most often challenging her authority. So what that tells me is she packed a vault full of really smart people, and if she didn't feel like she was the smartest person in the room, then she didn't think they were obeying her. Ugh. But she implemented ceremonies because she thought that would be a great way to give them something to compete over, which I think is odd. The high point of the program was the Vault 76 World Cup, which I guess broke a jukebox. But the Overseer credited the success to the exemplary service of her loyal and dependable senior staff. Meanwhile, outside of Vault 76, the survivors of the Great War were aware of the vault's existence and wondered why it was still closed years later. In particular, the responders wanted to know if they could open the vault somehow. The vault ceiling led to the perception from the outsiders that the residents of the Vault 76 are cushy and privileged, while the rest of the world adjusted to the wasteland's life. However, Vault 76 also had another objective. The Vault's Overseer was ordered to find and secure 3 nuclear silos all on her own after its opening. If these sites were still nuclear capable, she was to ensure no one except Vault Tech could access or launch nuclear ordnance. Any other authorities or government, militia, or otherwise were to be ignored to ensure that Vault Techs alone controlled these silos and could deny their use to any other parties. But on October 23rd, 2102, exactly 25 years after the Great War and 5 years after the intended date, in a much celebrated event, the vault opened and the inhabitants emerged into an unknown world. Nobody knew what to expect as the bombs knocked out all of Vault 76 external sensors except for the Geiger counters. So now let's talk about a vault that we still have not been able to go into to this day. And it drove us crazy. Well, me anyways. Vault 63. It is still sealed. We have bits and pieces of story along the way, but some sneaky snakes out there have managed to clip through the sides of the vault and get glimpses of what's inside of this. And we have word that possibly in the near future, we will be able to get some story out of this and for once be able to figure out what happened inside Vault 63. But here's what we know of Vault 63, and I have actually created some images to go along with what we know is inside Vault 63. So I'm going to do my best to go through what we do have and hopefully give you some insight. The first room that is seen when entering the vault proper is the entry hall. It makes it very apparent that the vault status and the state of the vault are two very different things. Immediately, you can see demolished furniture, overturned shelves, the skeleton of a scientist, and other general debris expected in failed vault experiment. The second door on the left lead to the processing area, which contains decontamination arches and general vault furniture. On the upper level of the atrium is a small store. Now, the atrium is in a state of absolute despair. There are numerous burn marks and piles of rubble, along with overturned furniture everywhere, and oddly enough, a few impact craters, along with a few small fires caused by the ash heaps bursting through the wall. A few small rooms containing generic vault decorations and a blank terminal can be found here as well. The atrium has a unique ceiling. There also appears to be numerous air purifiers mounted on the upper walls. So clearly something really bad happened inside of this vault. I am thinking something to do with a fire. If you think about where we're at on the map, we're in the Ashlands. The power armor that you get over here is fire related. This was supposed to be part of the vault raids. One of the vault missions was supposed to be fire outbreak, and you're supposed to collect these IDs to be able to open this, and I think go in and put out the fires in here. So I think hopefully in the near future, this vault will be a part of an update. Fingers crossed, and we'll finally be able to know what exactly happened here. So let's talk about Vault 96, one of the most intriguing and horrifying vaults there is. Now, Vault 96 public mission was to monitor post-war surface conditions, the damage caused by genetically to local fauna, and reduce species to restore ecological balance. But once the vault was sealed, the mission received was quite different. The true mission was far more complex, requiring the conducting of genetic experiments to explore mutated fauna and to develop countermeasures for them. Now I'm going to let you listen to a tape here from the vault explaining exactly what happened.
All right, calm down. Calm down. We won't...
Calm down? Aaron, what kind of scam is this?
I know this isn't what you expected. I'm still trying to process it all too.
Bullshit. You work for Voltaire.
You had to know. Jeanette, I already told you.
So, the door has sealed. There is no way for us to reopen it.
Apparently not.
And it's just the five of us in here?
That's right.
That's crazy. You could fit an entire town in here.
I want to know about the experiments. Are there really 10,000 creatures in cryo here?
And instead of preserving them, you want us to experiment on them, induce mutations, optimize for lethality.
Those are our orders. You will all have weekly research reports to meet.
And if we refuse, or fall short?
Anyone failing to meet their quota, or otherwise trying to rebel, eliminated.
You can't be serious.
So that's right. They walked in, the 5 of them, the door was sealed, and plans changed. These were incredibly smart individuals. They were to perform tasks on animals just to see what they could create. This was going to be the first cryogenics bay, and there was an entity running the whole thing named X001. Now, Eric seemed like the bad guy. He was the overseer running everything, and they would have weekly quotas they would have to meet if they were doing a good job. And if they didn't meet their quotas, then they were dismissed, for a better word. Now, Eric had another idea. He wanted to create a virus to upload to the computers to shut the whole operation down. Like most bad guys, they are a bit of a wimp. They don't want to die. They don't want to go down with the ship. So at the end of it all, Eric uploaded the virus, he shut it down, and the protocol opened the doors. All of the animals escaped, and Eric was the last man standing to walk out into the wasteland. All right, last but not least, Vault 94. What started out as something sweet turns into sour. Vault 94 was designed to test the adaptability of non-violent ideological groups when presented with post-apocalyptic societies. The Vault's core values consisted of faith, nonviolence, communal life, and harmony. That sounds great and all, but we're talking about the apocalypse here, okay? They were expected to reinforce their values during the shelter period of 1 year. 1 year. In place of an overseer, the vault was governed by a council system where all residents could participate in a voting for the community. Living quarters were compact, creating communal residential spaces instead of living quarters. The vault was also given an abundance of high-value resources, but wasn't provided with any weapons, armor, or other defenses. Residents were encouraged to open the vault to other survivors who would likely be armed and desperate, with Vault Tech expecting this would require the community to quickly adapt and modify their system to survive. As multiple mass extinction events were anticipated after the Great War, the primary mission assigned to Vault 94 residents was to monitor and preserve the local ecosystem while assisting other survivors with their needs. The vault included a complete agricultural facility with massive seed bank containing all known plants suitable for edible or medicinal use. It was provided with the Garden of Eden Creation Kit, or the GECK. As the year-long shelter period drew to an end, they proposed an ambassador program to the council, sending residents out to search for survivors and invite them back to the vault. Now let me restate this. 1 year! So knowing that the community wasn't capable of adapting to the wasteland, Hayes, who was the person put in charge of being the quote-unquote overseer, strongly advised against the motion, eventually revealed his role as the overseer, presenting Vault Tech's original instructions. After the motion passed, they attempted to prepare the residents, unsuccessfully proposing various security measures to the council. So he was shot down. And they reopened 1 year after the bombs dropped and the Great War. And they were giving access codes instead of a Pip-Boy to go out into the world and repopulate and bring people back. They're like, all right, we're ready to go. We know about plants, but we don't need weapons. Let's bring people back to the vault. So they thought they were ready. They're just going to go out into the world with all these hardened people. Say, all right, you ready to go see our gardens? I'm sure you're going to love it. And that's what they did. And they started bringing people back into the vault to see it. And they thought, who are these people? These crazy people. Sure, we'll go see your vault. Yeah, let's go in. Oh yeah, you got plenty of food? Oh, you got the latest and greatest? Yeah, take us to your vault. Oh yeah, it's just down the street here. Yeah, we want to see it. Oh yeah, you got running water? You got nice beds to sleep in? Yeah, take us over there. And what do you think happened? They killed them all. They broke in. They got the Garden of Eden. They took all their food and they killed them. And that's exactly what happened. Nice people don't always get what they think they're going to get. And that's the moral of the story. Yeah, it's great to be hospitable, but nice guys finish last sometimes. So that sucks for Vault 96. It's a beautiful place, though. This is one of my favorite vaults to explore, minus all the Mirelurks. I kind of hate all the stuff that's in this one, but once you kill it, please explore this one. It's kind of beautiful. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I'm actually going to be doing a part 2 of this lore series because I have a couple more pieces of vault lore to share with you guys. So as always, don't forget to hit that like or subscribe button if you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll be seeing you on the next one.